All right, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start this lesson off by giving all praises, honors, and glories due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. All right, I want to say double honors to my apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. All right, they are true leaders of Israel who I learned from. I also want to say peace, blessings, and salutation out there to the elect, wherever you may be, the household of faith, scattered across the four corners of the earth, the man, the woman, and children who are slated to be delivered in these times. Um, also want to say, if y'all don't know, my name is Samak Ya'ala from the GMFDC camp, and I want to do this video. It has been dwelling on my mind. This has been dwelling on my mind lately, ever since I've been suffering uh, these bodily afflictions. As you can hear from my voice, I sound sick. It's getting better. It was worse a few days ago, but Dwight Yahawashi shy, it's getting better. Again, I can't really raise my voice or yell. Okay, so if you guys can't hear me, you might have to raise up the volume on whatever device you're using. But the one scripture that stood out to me was Malachi 4:2. Because uh we look at all these things. Well, let me not say that, but when we're in this truth, right, we don't really think about the healing part, the healing aspect of this ministry. And I don't mean it as in we don't regard it. It's not known in its truth, but it seems to skip over the minds of most of our people because you know examples is these other camps. They don't really focus on the healing aspect. They focus on the power. They focus on the might. You know, they focus on the numbers. They don't focus on the healing, and that's what most of our people need. They need healing because the scripture says, uh, let me see if I can get it. Whole head is sick, right? The more our people become wicked, the more sick they are, and that's an attribute to the curses. Is Isaiah 1:5. Why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. Okay, the whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint, and that's one of the main reasons why the Lord is making this to be our last captivity because there's no point in striking Jake anymore in this time and age. You can see we're in the worst captivity that's ever been known to mankind, and yet our people are becoming more and more wicked. Even after all the drugs that has been pushed into our communities, right? The drugs being strung out on these designer drugs, and these are not normal drugs, but these are drugs that are made in a lab to specifically destroy a person's uh, nervous system, the neurons, the brain, because it feeds off of dopamine and pleasures, and that's a very dangerous drug. Example, cocaine. You know, after all this, our people are still yet becoming more wicked and wicked, so there's no point. That's why the Lord is only coming for the elect. He's not wasting his whole time for the whole nation because we will be here forever. We can never come to agreement uh, with the 2/3. Okay? That's why the scripture says, "He that is filthy still, let him be filthy still." He that is just, let him be just still. I'm not gonna get the scripture, uh, but going back, uh, the elect, or you could say the sincere, hopeful elect, right? Hopeful. I say hopeful because we don't want to say it as an act of pride because we don't truly know if we are of the elect. We have been called, but we have not been chosen. But Scripture says, "Make that call in the election." Sure, that's what we're doing our best to serve Yahweh Shai, to the best of our ability. through all the slip ups that we had, because our works are not perfect. We ourselves, we are not perfect. Scriptures talks about that our righteousness are as filthy rags. We are not perfect as a whole, but we're trying our best to be perfect, and that's what the Lord's looking for. He's looking for the intent. He's looking for the effort. Okay, the sincere intent and the effort. That's what the Lord's looking for. Uh, Let me actually read the scripture here. But unto you that fear my name, uh, which starts with fearing the name of Yahweh, which Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Okay, and that means the name means He exists or He is. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, He is or He exists. Ba'ashem, the name. Slack it. Ba'ashem in the name. Yahawashi being the name. Okay, of the only begotten Son. Okay, and those are the names we believe and call on in times of our distress and calamity, which is far approaching. If you know what I mean. That's Jacob's trouble. Shall the Son of righteousness, being the Messiah, because he's acting, if that's the right word, right? Acting. He's acting, or he's likened. Yeah, I like that word. He's likened to a son. He's likened to light. You know. Uh, in fact, let me get this scripture right here. Bright and morning star. Okay. In the Christian church, they would teach you that this is Lucifer. Which, if you don't know, Lucifer is actually referring to Yahushai. You know, that's what it means. Lucifer means light bearer. Okay. The Illuminati, they're Lucifer as well. Okay, but they're Lucifer on the left hand side. They don't have the true light. Okay, they're enlightened on the left hand side. This is Revelation 22 verse 16. I, Yahushua, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. Okay, the bright and morning star, the day star that riseth in your hearts. We get that scripture as well. Day star that ariseth in your hearts. I actually uh, did this lesson before, but I kind of messed up towards the end, so I'm doing it again. You know, it's hard to walk. The spirit told me I should have kept going, but personally, I didn't think the lesson was good enough. Maybe I was tripping, maybe I wasn't. You know, everything's done by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is Second Peter 1 verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto excuse me, whereunto ye do well, that you take heed, okay, that you take heed, that you hearken, that you listen, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place. Okay, that's Yahushua. He's that light, and then that dark place is pretty much our bodies, or you could say our mind. Because before we came in this truth, we were in a dark place. We were in a dark, sunken place. We were in darkness until the light, or the knowledge of Yahweh Shemi Shai enter into our minds. And those who have the eyesight to see it will receive it. Scripture says, if any man knock and open, I will come unto him and sup with him. Roughly paraphrase, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn. Okay, and the day star arise in your hearts. That's beautiful. I want to get this in the NLT, see what it says. Um, the NLT is very good. I have to start reading the NLT more, because they always have a different aspect on the scripture. Not saying that it's different ways of breaking down the scriptures, but the way it's said, can really bring a a new perspective, so to speak, right? Let me do NLT. Let's see what comes up. Okay, right. Second Peter 1 verse 19 in NLT. Because of that experience, we have even greater confidence in the message proclaimed by the prophets. We must pay close attention to what they wrote, to hearken, okay, uh, through due diligence, for their words are like a lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns. And Christ, the morning star, shines in your hearts, and how Yahawashi shine in your heart is by this truth and this knowledge. Because what this truth does, it lights up your whole mind. You come in, you put off your old man, and anything that you've done in the world, you put that off, and you become a new creature. You become reborn, so to speak. And that's what separates us from the unholy of the world. And it also, it's also one of the dangers of being in this truth, because now you pretty much have an open target on your back. People in the world, they might not know, how do I say this? They might not know what they're doing, but spiritually, in their spirit, they know. In fact, let me rephrase that. They don't know why they hate you, but spiritually they know why they hate you. Because see, there are a lot of things that people do that they can't explain because it's all through the spirit. And I've noticed that over the years, and also while being in this truth. If you ever go to a place and you see people acting weird around you, it's because of the spirit. The spirit of you and the spirit of that person is incompatible. It also goes into light, shining in a dark place. Once that light enters a room full of darkness, the darkness wants to scramble and scurry on out of there. That's why I have testimonies of this. I'll enter into an area and you see people all start acting fidgety around you. Now they're not doing it. It's not themselves that's doing it. It's the demon that's in them that's acting that way. That's what I was referring to, their spirit, because their body is full of darkness. So that's why I refer to it as an open target, because during the time of Jacob's trouble, it will be very clear who the men of the Lord are, you know, especially when they're being protected in that day. That's why the scripture says, "Then shall it be known who are my chosen." Okay, because you have Israelites that, I hate to say it, but you have foolish, stupid Israelites that are very dumb. They're taking this thing as entertainment, and they're looking at every Israelite camp as men of the Lord, so to speak. Oh man, Jakey, man, Jake is one of the dumbest people I've ever met. Yeah, I don't mean that as an insult. Well, maybe I do, because you, excuse me, Slack. You still have Jakes out there, till this day, that are watching every Israelite camp because they believe all of them are men of the Lord, regardless of the doctrine they teach. I kid you not, there are Jakes out there that believe that. That's why when that time comes, they're gonna know who the true men of the Lord are, and by that time, if they're not of the elect, they ask is through. If you're of the elect, the Lord will guide you, pursuant to was Isaiah 30. Um, you will hear a word behind you when I turn to the left and then turn to the right. The eyes shall see thy teachers, roughly paraphrase. I'm not going to bring that scripture up. Um, let me do this right here. Okay. Let me go into the commentary, see what they say. It says, "What his mercy and comfort shall bring to them, he shall rise with healing under his wings, or in his rays of beams." And the wings represent the chariots. The wings represents the chariots. Okay, because where else will we hide when the destruction comes? We're not going to be hiding in the heavens. Okay, we're going to be hiding in chariots, or in his rays of beams, which are the wings of the sun, um, which are the wings of the sun. Mashiach came as the sun to bring not only light to a dark world, the world of Israel, the dark world of Israel, because Israel was in a desolate state, which are as the wings. Actually, uh, Christ came as the sun to bring not only light to a dark world, but health to a disease and distempered world. Because the nation of Israel, we are a diseased people, and all it takes is for you to go to a major city, a metropolitan city, and see who's bugged out and strung off of drugs. It's our people, whether it's by will or it's by ignorance. Our people are strung out on drugs. Okay, and it irks me because these Edomites have the audacity to believe that they deserve salvation when they rule the whole world. They lived a good life, even during the time of the Roman Empire, barring the Japhetic rule that started the Roman Empire, or let me not say the Roman Empire, but that started the Roman um structure, right? Barring the Japhetic rule, these Edomites have had a good run. They ruled Rome, they ruled Greece. What more could you ask for? And then they came back and ruled again, starting in the 1500s. That deadly wound was healed. Esau has had a good run. So what else do you need to be saved from? This is your world. You rule everything. But that goes into the hypocrisy of these devils. They want everything to be centered around them. They want everything to be catered around them. They don't give a fuck about what happens to other people, especially their own twin brother, which is Jacob. Scripture also talks about that. He speak lawfully concerning oppression. That's why in James 2 and 13 that the Lord, the scripture says that he shall have mercy that has shown no mercy, and mercy was Joseph against judgment, roughly paraphrased. That's why Esau is going to get the greatest destruction that has been known to mankind. The only nation, okay, the only nation that will not receive forgiveness from the Most High. It says here, as the son, well, let me read this. The Jews say, says Dr. Pockett, have a proverbial saying, as the sun riseth, infirmities decrease. That's a good saying. The flowers which drooped and languished all night revive in the morning. Okay? And that's also symbolic as well because morning is like the start of something, it represents the beginning when it's the morning. It also reminds me of the prophecy in Genesis 49 about Benjamin. He shall raven as a wolf. In the night he shall divide the spoils. In the morning he shall devour the prey. The night represents Esau's end, and the morning represents the beginning of our kingdom. You know, in the beginning of our kingdom, we're gonna destroy Edom. We're gonna put holy hell according to the law. Because we're not gonna be entirely wicked. We're a royal people. But everything that's according to the law, we will do. Everything that's within the confinements of the law, we will do. And our hearts will meditate terror like never before. You know, it's never a good day to be an Edomite. That's why I always tell people you want to be anything but an Edomite, bro, because all these other nations they'll get, they'll get revived and buried. The dead live not again until 1,000 years were fulfilled. They will have their own plots of land. They will live again. But for the nation of Edom, that's it. After them 1,000 years, you're done. As the sun riseth, infirmities decrease. The flowers which droop and languish all night revive in the morning. Yahawashi came into the world to be the great physician. Okay. He that is whole and needeth not a physician. All right. So those who don't come in this truth, they deem themselves as whole. They deem themselves as healthy, because they don't see themselves as sick, whether it's through strong delusion or whatever. says here, when he was upon earth, he went about as the sun in his circuit, doing this good. He healed all manner of sicknesses and diseases among the people, right? And one of his main sayings was, your faith has made thee whole. Okay, that's one of his key sayings. Your faith has made thee whole. Every time Yahushua will heal somebody, he'll always say, your faith has made thee whole, because it always starts with faith, you know? Faith is evidence of things not yet seen. In fact, let me get that. I don't want to mess up that scripture. Faith is evidence of things. Oh, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. Man, I hate how I butcher scriptures like that. It's all right, you know. The scripture says there is one that slippeth with the tongue, but not with the heart. Roughly paraphrased, right? Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. You know, so the fact that these people came to Yahushua and believed that they will be healed, that was beautiful. You know, that's what made them whole in the first place. It all starts with faith. Okay, Scripture says it is impossible to please the Most High without faith. So anybody who comes to him must believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. Right? Let me go ahead and get that. That's why it's so hard for wicked, or let me say, majority of the people to come into this truth. Majority of Israelites to come into this truth, because not all men were given the gift of faith. Oh, it's in the same. I don't know why I did it. It's in the same. It's in the same chapter. Oh boy, it's all good. This is Hebrews 11 verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You know. So before you get healed, you must have the faith, because right now we're being healed through the washing of this word. We're being spiritually healed right now, but the physical healing will come later on when our bodies be changed. You can read about that in. I was confused. Is it either Second Corinthians or First Corinthians? I'm gonna take a guess. I think it's First Corinthians. Let's see if I'm right. First Corinthians 15, right? Verse 70. I know there's a verse 70 in there in First Corinthians. Oh, yep, I got it right. I think I got it right. Let's see here. Let's check. Yep, I got it right. I got it right. The Wadi Hawashi be shy. Uh, I'm actually just gonna go to straight to the point. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Let me read First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. Celestial meaning heavenly, and terrestrial meaning earthly. But the bodies that we'll receive will be like a mix between the celestial and the terrestrial. I forgot there's a term for it that Apostle Ramlab used, but I can't remember. It's like celestial, terrestrial, something, you know, along those lines, or I forgot. I forgot the term. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another, because they all have their own functions, you know. And even in these decrepit bodies, as Apostle Kabar would say, right? These decrepit bodies are still amazing to a certain degree, because during the time I was sick last night, I was looking at an article and looking up the functions of mucus or phelgem. And what mucus and phelgem is, it's something that I believe your white blood cells produce, or something like that. I forgot how 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 it's actually formed, but your body creates this mucus and place it wherever the infection is, And that phloem or that mucus, because it's it's so sticky, it catches the bacteria, and once it catches the bacteria, your body pushes it out through coughing. That's why it's very good to cough. You don't want to suppress your coughing, because that's your body pushing out all the bad things out of your system. You know, it's beautiful. That's why uh, people in the ancient world were much more healthier, or let me say were healthier than nowadays, because I mean, just look at the Generation Z. They got all types of mental health issues, depression. Just I mean, look, imagine you being 13 years old and you already have depression. You haven't even lived a full life yet, and you you already have depression, like you're a 70-year-old World War II veteran that just came back home and lost all his friends. You even got some pre-adolescent teens that had PTSD, like they've been in a war-like experience, or a moment. It's crazy, and that's due to the medications, to the foods, and even to the quality of the air, because everything is polluted that is around us. You can do the best you can, but ultimately, Scripture says, uh, uh, if I forgot how it's worded. In fact, let me get it again. My memory is not sharp. Uh, Roughly paraphrase, it goes by, for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. Let me go ahead and get that. Elect's sake, right? Yeah. Matthew 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You even though you could try the best you cannot live in a society. It's just impossible. You cannot, in fact, you cannot build a family and then live in a society, because if this kingdom were to continue on, Esau will exterminate himself and everyone around him. That's how crazy this devil is. He has no end to his wickedness. That's why he's referred to as the harbinger of death. Okay, is as death and cannot be satisfied. Esau is the symbolism of death himself. All right, that's enough of that. Let me go back to, where was I? Man, I was hitting so many scriptures, I forgot where I was. That's how it is. Acts chapter 5. Um, I was in the commentary. Yeah, this is where I was. Says, when he was upon earth, he went about as the sun in the circuit, doing his good. He healed all manner of sicknesses and diseases among the people. Oh, that also brings me to this one scripture right here. It says, kiss the son, lest he be angry, and thou perish in his way. Thou perish from his way. Kiss the son, least, right? Kiss the son. Psalms 2, verse 12. Kiss the son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. But here's the kicker: blessed are all they that put their trust in him. Just like all those people that came to Yahawashi to be healed. The reason why they're healed was because they put their trust in him before the miracle even happened. That's why he said, "Thy faith has made thee whole." Okay, it's a beautiful thing. So I don't want to uh, go on a little bit forward, but I just want to talk about that. One of the main things, us brothers and sisters, you few sincere sisters out there that truly watch and learn and believe, okay, in our testimony that we deliver unto you. One of the main things we should look for is healing. Okay, healing, because we are all sick one way or another. You may not be physically sick, okay, but you could be spiritually sick. You are spiritually sick and you need healing. Okay, Well, that's coming when Yahawashi comes and delivers us out of this hellhole. In fact, I'll end it off on this scripture. Luke 4 and 18. It sounds better in the King James. I'm going to read it in the King James. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me. Uh, many are called, but few are chosen. You have to be called in this truth to actually teach. Okay? That's what it means to be anointed. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Who are the poor? Our people. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives. We are captives here in Babylon, are we not? We are the brokenhearted. Scripture refers to as the whole head is sick. Our people are sick due to the curses. To preach deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight uh, to the blind. To set at liberty them that are bruised. Okay, and Esau, the wrathful dragon, has bruised our people. The scriptures refer. I forgot where it was, but the scripture says that Esau has furthered our affliction more than what we deserved. He took our affliction to a whole new level. At the time of our calamity was at, he furthered our affliction. That's why he will be the only nation that will receive no mercy, and that will be pretty much exterminated. That's the true extermination that's coming. Esau has tried this extermination tactic. It has never worked on the nation of Israel, but the Lord is going to show him how extermination works. Oh man, I had to laugh. That's the title for a lesson right there. Let me read it. Verse 19. In fact, let me read the whole chapter because I have to get the. Let me look at the whole chapter. Yeah, hit that view chapter. Yeah, okay, there it is. Uh, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Our redeemed. That's what the scripture says. Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. This is the acceptable year of the Lord. This is the year, or let me say, this is the generation when all these things, all the words in the book will be fulfilled. So, that's pretty much it I wanted to say. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, or hopefully, I was able to enlighten you, to lighten or to shine that light in your heart with enlightenment on healing, and why our people need healing, especially us in this ministry, because we seem to be afflicted. Okay, we are being afflicted more than the people in the world. Suffering as a Christian, not as an evildoer. Okay, so until next time, shalom.